Rights. Boy, everyone in this country is always running around yammering about their fucking rights. I have a right. You have no right. We have a right. They don't have a right. Folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? They're imaginary. We made them up, like the boogeyman. But if you think you do have rights, let me ask you this. Where do they come from? People say, well, they come from God. They're God-given rights. Oh, fuck, here we go again. Here we go again. The God excuse, the last refuge of a man with no answers and no argument, it came from God. Anything we can't describe must have come from God. Personally, folks, I believe that if your rights came from God, he would have given you the right to some food every day, and he would have given you the right to a roof over your head. God would have been looking out for you. God would have been looking out for you. You know that?
Man-made laws are attempts to deal with occurring problems, and not knowing how to solve them, they make a law. It's not politicians that can solve problems. They have no technical capabilities. They don't know how to solve problems. Even if they were sincere, they don't know how to solve problems. It's technology that solves problems, not politics. Politics cannot solve problems because they're not trained to do so. And writing your congressman is fantastic. They tell you to write your congressman if you want something done. The men in Washington should be at the forefront of technology, the forefront of human studies, all the factors that shape human behavior. You don't have to write your congressman. What kind of people are they that are appointed to do that job? The future will have great difficulty.
Hey guys, in this video I'd like to address the issue of laws and the reasoning for them in a capitalist world. A world that is dominated by money, trade, and markets. And I'll say from the beginning that the more society has to create laws to protect its people and the environment, the more technically and socially inefficient and incompetent that society is. Since the social system cannot find a real, tangible solution, it has to use laws as a form of social control. The very fact that we need so many laws and regulations to stop corrupt behavior from people and corporations should be a clear sign that our society actually rewards this kind of behavior. And since we cannot phase out corruption, we cannot remove corruption entirely, we have to use laws as a form of patchwork to maintain the system's integrity to some degree. And as I'll try to make clear with my videos, the market system actually requires selfish, dishonest, corrupt behavior in order for people to succeed within it. And unfortunately, within a capitalist free market system, we do not have mechanisms in place that can actually remove problems entirely. And so in truth, all laws are expressions of technical and social inefficiency. Instead of having laws that make it illegal for a person to steal, from a natural law perspective, we have to realize a basic survival mechanism exists in all life forms. And to place a law condemning that behavior is to literally ignore all the factors that are responsible for that behavior.
Everything is shoved by something else. You are told that a tree falls over. You are told that a sailboat sails. A sailboat cannot sail unless acted upon by a resident force called the wind. A tree does not fall. If it rains and it's asymmetric and the soil becomes loose, gravity does the rest. The tree doesn't fall. Human beings are not self-operating entities. We are operated by many resonant forces. Of course, many of us are not aware of that. It looks like we're perfectly free, making our own decisions. I know I think for myself. I'm sure you do. That's an illusion. When you break the patterns that have been established by existing society, you begin to move people in a new direction.
We don't think and behave for ourselves. We are living in a continuum of influences that constantly shape who we are and give us the illusion of the self. You know, that individualism that our culture is so heavily obsessed with. The individual, someone who exists in complete isolation from their environment, basically living in a vacuum. And actually, if you think about it, it is this free will delusion that is the basis of the legal system for today's world. For they make the false assumption that people do have a choice to do this or that. You know, I gotta say it, man, it just absolutely fucking blows my mind that we live in a system that condemns billions of people to absolute poverty, the mass starvation of children on a daily basis, and yet nobody sees that as absolutely corrupt and unlawful. We can go back and forth on the nuances of social conduct all day, But the most important factor to society's design, and what Peter Joseph calls the root socioeconomic orientation, is the most predictable factor of whether a society is going to be functional or dysfunctional in its operation. If we have a technically sustainable and efficient system of production, distribution, resource management, and one where human needs are met globally and locally, we simply become more efficient as a society and can finally remove that sign that says, "Don't steal." Truth is, human needs can be calculated and accounted for without the need to write a bunch of laws and legislation. We only have laws against stealing, theft, and corruption because we have not yet found a way to phase those problems out from society. And while conventional wisdom would tell us that we have to create more jobs in order to allow people to make money, those are in-the-box solutions that don't recognize that the market system is inefficient and unable to do this for everyone. Automation, among many other things, are making it hard to maintain high employment levels, and so we're literally wasting people's lives away, creating fake jobs to keep this charade going. The number one cause of death for young people is car accidents, and so lots of laws exist to regulate transportation. But, again, since laws are expressions of inefficiency, this means that we can't actually remove accidents entirely. Not to mention millions of hours of people's lives wasted away while they sit in traffic every single day. So, instead of a million laws for this or that issue, we simply use our technology to design a transportation system that flows smoothly, safely, with no interruptions. Self-driving cars that are much less prone to error than humans. Or we can simply remove the automobile and design a holistic transportation system, such as a network of high-speed trains and maglevs that can connect everything, increasing technical and social efficiency. And by the way, if we resolve the issues of car-related accidents and violations, there would be a massive drop in GDP and economic growth, as millions of people will lose their jobs. Those are jobs like policemen, judges, lawyers, tow truck drivers, repair shops, insurance companies, all phased out. Because
it's no longer relevant.
And I'll be working on a larger video in the future that can demonstrate technical solutions to utilize what is physically possible, not what is financially affordable. So please be on the lookout for that video, and thank you for watching. Please share and let me know if you have any thoughts on the issue of technical efficiency. Peace out.
The system I advocate, a resource-based global economy, is not perfect. It's just a lot better than what we have. We can never achieve perfection.